Is it realistic to start from scratch thrifting vintage items and trying to sell them online to make a profit?
Let's go in the Goodwill and see what we got.
I lost my job as a television producer, and after thrifting my whole life as a hobby, I'm attempting to go pro, reselling items I find to try to generate income.
He's a cool little guy.
But how much is this gonna cost? How long is it gonna take me to make money? Am I gonna make any money at all? And what's the learning curve when it comes to everything? Sourcing items,
It's an old Eddie Bauer jacket.
shipping items,
I probably am not making any money on it. I'm probably losing on this.
taking listing photos, and all of that.
That looks way better than before.
So this is going to be an extremely realistic start to me trying to grow as a reseller. And at the end of this video, I'm going to reveal 3 huge takeaways from my very first week at attempting this. So thank you for coming along, click subscribe, and let's go thrifting.
Let's see if they got any cameras. Cool little camera. So somebody maybe took it out. That looks like that's for an old camera, but I don't think those lights do very well. This is unusual right here. Sony DV Direct. You go from your mini DV camera into this device and you can make DVDs. $6. Shake weights. I'm very familiar with the shake weight game. I got a Patagonia. So I got this tripod, got this Patagonia fleece, and 1188. It's all about building up the inventory here. Gotta take these labels off. It kind of shines the product up a little bit. It is missing the quick release plate. Okay, well, I've actually determined that I'm gonna keep this tripod because I have 2 other Manfrotto tripods, but they're bigger. They're a lot bigger than this. And this is, I like how small and compact this is. And this was $6. And Manfrotto makes a good tripod. So to loosen it, you just roll the little wheel, adjust the trigger grip, roll it back. So that's actually a really good buy just for the business side of things. You gotta keep in mind the business side of things, okay? Now we're gonna list, we do have this Patagonia fleece that I bought. So let's take this baby out. I found some comps online that were pretty good. And this was $5. It's a Polar Tech. All right, day 2. Going to the thrift store to find items to flip online. I am still working. It's my last week of work, so I can't go as hard as I want to go, but nonetheless, I'm doing it. I think once I actually start doing it full-time proper next week, I'm gonna have a little circuit of thrift stores that I'm gonna go to. That's weird. Okay, so looking good today. Got some couple of vintage items in box. Got a hoop scoreboard for your basketball hoop outside, in the box new, and also this crazy drum machine. It does work. I tried to power it on. It is $40. Vintage shirt right here. Steeplechase. Got the single stitch. It's $4.43. It's a brand that I've never heard of before though, so I don't know about that. It's kind of a cool duffel bag. I don't know what the brand is on it though. I bought this Panasonic little transcriber machine. Oh, there's something on this tape. Let's check it out.
Notes that I want to send to Ralph Idle from our calls. Jonathan Beckett advised us that he has made the decision to ship the machining fixture.
It's super cool. I don't know why, I just love this kind of stuff. Like some guy sat in a room at like a warehouse at a little desk and like was putting all of his notes onto this little dictation machine.
From Alumaloy, Cleveland, Ohio, along with 2 aluminum alloys by Monday.
This is actually relaxing to me. Putting this tape on, listening to it, talking about alloys and metals and deliveries.
Jonathan needs at least 40 to 50 castings in the month of October to get himself out of trouble.
And the stress is gone. Like at some point in time, this was important information, right? But the time has passed. These people are probably retired, maybe even shuffled off this mortal coil. I don't know. I don't want to be grim. I'm hoping they're still alive. Probably not. But they're old, wherever they are. And it goes to show you, man, it's something about life, right? It's fleeting. Make the most of it. And the things that you think are important, well, they might show up at the thrift store, and some guy might buy them and list them online to make a profit. You press play.
Master pattern maker.
And I just love the dials, so you can speed it up.
First dash, record. The facility's here.
And you can slow it down. This is the little foot pedal that goes into it. I mean, look at that plug. Little foot pedal, and it's got a backspace pedal and a start pedal. I mean, just how sweet is that? I can't keep it. By the way, it's in no way glamorous, but this is my basement. There is a giant TV, which did not fit upstairs. All of our storage stuff, this is very dirty over here. I have to clean it. I have a little film setup that I'm obviously gonna be using to take my listing photos for stuff I'm gonna sell online. Back here, I'll show you this. Way back here in the bowels of my basement, this is where I wanna set up like my little desk. I wanna paint like the walls black here. I have like these 2 planks. I wanna make tabletops and run some electricity over here and set this up as sort of like my little like workstation. Yeah, eventually, you know, this is the next project here. What little time I do have outside of being a dad, outside of working, is just thrifting items and getting some inventory. Starting to kind of grow a little bit of inventory and get into kind of the habit of doing this. We're gonna take a bunch of photos, we're gonna go upstairs, we're gonna list them, and we're gonna just start doing it. And I can already tell just from listing a few things that like I haven't figured it out, okay? Like this hoop score thing that I got. There's a bunch of them listed for sale, but like none sold. I don't know who would buy that. Anyway, this is all to say it's a journey. And thank you for coming with me on this journey. Now let's go upstairs. I got my camera here. I'm gonna pull some of these photos off. I'm gonna list them. And I'm gonna go to bed because it's late. I worked all day today doing this at night so that I can get some good momentum going into next week when I won't have a job. Give you the update on this tripod. I'm back upstairs, and I've been liking this tripod a lot because it is super light. And I got the quick release plate for this. It's $12 on Amazon. It's a generic version. That's working out. Stayed up late, listed several items. I'll say that took me way longer than it should have. Probably what I should be doing is getting my items together, going into the eBay store, actually creating the listings for each item, filling in all the information, then saving them as drafts, and then setting them each up in my little photo display, and then opening them on my phone and just taking pictures directly in the app on my phone. That's the tip I got, and that's what I'm gonna be doing moving forward. But all of the items that I've listed so far have gotten like pretty much 0 traction. I'm just trying to, remind myself that like this phase right here is about, getting acclimated to the process. It's all about knowing your product, okay?
I've been doing this this is the third day. If there's one thing I've learned so far, it's you gotta know your product. It's just the resistance thing. It's fighting through the resistance, making my process as smooth as possible. That is the name of the game here. Gonna go to some different thrift stores today. First one up is gonna be a Salvation Army. Let's see what they got. Nice Eddie Bauer. There's a Carhartt. Check that. Check the price on that. Okay, just finished up in that Salvation Army. Kind of crushed it. The prices are insane. The t-shirts were all 99 cents. Let me show you what I got here. I found a pair of vintage LL Bean duck boots. They seem in great shape. At first I thought maybe they didn't have the liner in there, but I actually think that's how they are. Made in the USA. These were $9. I found this was in like the houseware section. This is a Vic Firth drum pad, really solid drum pad. This was $2. Also, check out this super cool vintage Disney Mickey Mouse polo, made in the USA, XL. That was like $2 or something. This is just an old shirt. It just says "Safety is a winner, Erie Mill," but again, single stitch, old school shirt. Got like some nice wear on it. It's like super soft. No tag. So I don't know, a couple, like, but these are 99 cents, or maybe that one might have been 50 cents. This actually I think is super cool, but I'm just noticing now, again, I'm learning my lesson here. Look at things closer. Little stain right here, little stain right here, but this is a woman's vintage shirt, single stitch, XL, old tag, 99 cents. This is a modern Carhartt shirt, 50 cents. And then the last item here at this first thrift store is this all black North Face shirt. That was like $2, extra large, all black, long sleeve. I gotta be coming here to crush the t-shirt game because 99 cents is crazy. Next up, we're gonna go to a Value World, I believe it's called. Another thrift store. Okay, so I feel like there's some really good jackets here, like vintage jackets, but they're all kind of pricey. Take a look at that. I think that's a vintage Abercrombie, maybe. This is an old Eddie Bauer jacket. See the script on there? But it's $13. And there's this vintage Columbia jacket, $10. Also this sweet ski jacket, women's like 80s ski jacket. Again, $12 though. I don't know about that. Okay, I stumbled upon someone's U2 t-shirt collection, the band U2. And this shirt right here is U2 Achtung Baby. It's like the original 1991 version sells for like $300 online, but this is of course a recreation. It's got the brand new tags from the Sphere. Another one. Here's another one. I did get 2 items. Pullover quarter zip Carmel by the Sea sweatshirt. Beautiful drive, by the way, down the 1, if you've ever been there. Anyway, really cool vintage quarter zip Carmel by the Sea, vintage tag, super cool, $3.69. And then I got this little vintage flannel. So the brand is Woodland. This was $6.89. This one looked good to me. It's got kind of like the Western style button or pocket on there. Right now it's maybe past midnight. I've been just punching away at listing all of these. I'm finding that I have to really research all of like the comps and like how to list the item, how to properly describe it. So anyway, I've done all the drafts of all of these, and now to step up my game even further, what I wanted to do is take better listing photos. I see people have these clean setups, and I feel like I've been hanging my shirts up, and I feel like when I see listings where they're laying flat, I like the look of that better, and it just looks cleaner, it looks easier. And I have a bunch of seamless background paper. So I'm gonna roll some seamless out right here, and then use that with my lights as a way to take pictures laying flat on the ground. We'll see if that looks better.
That looks way better than before. This is day 4. Thrifting, listing things on eBay, trying to get some traction. I have an offer for the drum machine. It's $50, $10 more than I paid for it. I promoted the listing through eBay when I listed it. And when you do that, eBay is gonna take like 10% off of the top when it sells, if the person that bought it clicked on a promoted link. So with the promoted eBay fee that they're gonna take off the top, and also eBay's fee already, I probably am not making any money on it. I'm probably losing money on this if I accept the offer for $50. But it's also occurring to me that like when I list an item, especially one like this drum machine, it's pretty heavy and it's pretty weird shape. So like when you actually go to ship it, you want to make sure the shipping cost isn't going to end up being like I'm going to have to pay for that too. Before I accept the offer, I'm going to go through and actually like box this up, if that makes sense. So I can actually like tell how much it's really going to cost. So I'm going to box this up. You live and you learn. That's the thing here. That's the name of the game. Okay, well, calculated the shipping and it was like $60 to ship it. So I would have lost money. I would have had to have paid money to ship that item. Again, huge mistake on my part. When I list something, especially if it's big and heavier, I have to put the shipping stuff properly. I know what you're supposed to do is like measure it, compensate for when it will be in a box, weigh it actually, add a little bit of extra weight. So I put it on Facebook Marketplace because it's, you know, listed for $65 on Facebook Marketplace because I figured it's local, people want to haggle, whatever. I was up late last night, listed everything that I have so far, you know, all the shirts that I got yesterday, the drum pad that I got yesterday. I set up that better photo situation in my basement with the seamless backdrop. Again, it's better, but I'm still finding that it's weird because I chose the paper that I chose is like a light brown, like a pecan color paper, which is fine, and then I'm lighting on top of it, and sometimes I'm noticing some of the colors of the clothing comes out looking kind of weird because I'm taking it with my cell phone, and I think it just needs to be a white backdrop. And I've never heard anybody talk about this, you know, photography wise, that like you probably want a white backdrop mainly because it's going to make your items probably look kind of weird if it's not white. These are all small things that you would never know unless you like really went and did it yourself. So I have like 20 items listed right now on my eBay store. Not bad for only 4 days in. And right now I'm on my way to a thrift store called Common Threads. I've never been to it before. Apparently it's good. Apparently it's good on Thursday. Today's Thursday. So I'm gonna head over there and see what this place is like. Okay, so I'm finding out the prices at this place are crazy high. There's like this little amplifier, comes with the remote, has the speakers, $125. And it's half price on all the clothes today, but the clothes are priced really high. So you get half price on a sweatshirt that's $13. Nah, can't even do it. Like, look at this couch. This couch right here is $70. Like, who's gonna pay $70 for this? Ouch. It's not a good place. It's short and simple. The thing is that it's giving like Plato's Closet vibes or something. Look at this sweet old school street sweeper. It's like a very cool retro design. I don't know what it is. There's this sort of like, sometimes when you go into a thrift store and you see what the prices are so high, it's kind of like insulting. It's like, you know, do we not both understand what this transaction is? Like, you're a thrift store. These items are supposed to be cheap. That's why I'm here. But now we're at this other location. It's a America Cancer Society Discovery Shop. I just saw it driving, so we'll just see. just see what the prices look like here. Here's an Oakley polo shirt. I'm just gonna look at this just to see what the prices are. Okay, $6. A little high, not totally bad though. Yellow tags are 50%. Oh, here we go. There we go. Now we're talking. $8 is vintage LL Bean. So that's cool.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. Unfortunately. It feels way too curated. Like, it feels like a bunch of old ladies put out stuff that they were like, this is new and good and still has good use in it. And it's like, no, I want the old. So, kind of a bust that I have to go home now. Kind of a bust. That was kind of a bust. Not gonna give up on this. Again, still working today, second last day of work. When you're watching this, I'll already be done with work, and so hopefully I would have made some money. But again, I haven't sold anything yet. Nothing has sold yet, which, again, only a couple days doing this, still figuring it out. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. All right, everybody. So my first week as a reseller was extremely hard. My strategy was finding vintage stuff that I thought was cool. But what that means is that a lot of stuff that I'm finding isn't selling super quickly. It's kind of unique stuff. Even though it might be worth a little bit more than I paid, it's unique stuff. So my journey at this is going to continue next week. I'm going to keep this going. This is just the start, but I'm also right now, of course, going to give you my 3 big takeaways that I'm already finding in just my first week. Okay, and I haven't even had any sales in my first week. Lesson number 1 is understand sell-through rate and also determine if it matters to you. If you're at the thrift store, you see an item, you pick it up, you want to know the value, you go to eBay, you type in whatever that item is, it's going to show you a bunch of active listings for people trying to sell this item. You take the number of items that have been sold and divide it by the number of items currently listed. That's going to give you a percentage. And that percentage is the sell-through rate in the last 90 days. The higher the percentage, the quicker, in theory, that your item is going to sell. I learned about sell-through rate, but sell-through rate for vintage items is a little bit harder to determine. If you want items to move really fast, you have to be paying attention to sell-through rate, and you want at least 50% or above sell-through rate on all your items if you want a high turnover. Lesson number 2 is going to be get extremely organized with shipping. During this first week of getting going, I didn't actually sell anything. You would think that I wouldn't be super concerned with shipping, but you need to be right away. So making sure that you have like poly mailer bags, I'll put a link below to the ones that I would use for like a shirt when I'm gonna sell them. Even if you haven't sold anything yet, you still wanna be organized, because when you have an item, you wanna make sure when you list it, you have a scale, you've weighed the item, you have the box that it's gonna go in, or at least you know the size of the box. And when you list the item, you're gonna put in the correct weight and the correct size of the box, because if the buyer is going to pay for shipping, you want to make sure that they're paying the right amount. The third lesson, the third takeaway, is going to be listing items has to be easy and you have to do it fast. I'm putting things on the floor, I'm getting down on my hands and knees, sweat is pouring down my face, I'm setting up lights, I'm setting up paper. Every time I want to do something else, I have to take that stuff away. It's not efficient, it's not convenient, it's not fast, it's not easy. But I think looking back even at my first week, if I would have started somewhere, it would have just been like, get a nice white backdrop or simple backdrop with some lights, and make sure it's big enough and it's tilted up and you can either sit or stand when you're taking the photos. And make sure it's set up in a place where you can leave it set up. On that note, please continue following along with my journey by clicking subscribe, and also go ahead and share this video with someone who's into this kind of stuff. I'm gonna see you guys again very soon.